Thank you. I always feel like such an interloper at this event because all I actually do is show up. But I guess even if you're an athlete, that's half of it, right? You just got to show up no matter what. And I just want to say thank you. Deb will do some more formal thank yous later on to everyone who was involved in this. I am so proud of our athletic program and the student athletes who are here and the student athletes who have graduated. And one thing I was able to say when we were fighting for funds for a renovation of the phys ed building and in addition for the health professions was that our student athletes give back. And that's what tonight is about. And we have Jen Benson here who actually got up and spoke at a commission meeting, and I remember that because that's not her favorite thing to do. But she was willing to do that for this college and for the community. And so we have people who teach, who give back in so many different ways. And Dr. Baker was saying at dinner that there are a lot of alumni athletes who were all Americans, and they're not in this Hall of Fame because they don't have a record of giving back. And so we graduate people with fine academic records and with a sense of service. And of course that comes from our athletic director, from Frank Szymanski, from all of the coaches. And I hope maybe in some small way from me, because I believe in that and I would not support this program if I didn't think it was happening. But I know that it does. I'd like to say to the current athletes, look at the inductees tonight. These are your role models, and the best you could aspire to would be to be like them. So thank you all for coming. It's a wonderful evening, and I'm really proud to be associated with it, even as a guest. Thank you.
I'd like to start off by thanking Medifast, who is our corporate sponsor, and also to thank the committee. We do have a Hall of Fame committee, and the people that I think are here, I hope I don't miss anybody. Jen Benson is on the Hall of Fame committee. Rich Midcap is right here. That's right, don't stand up or anything. Frank Szymanski, he left. Oh, there he is over there. And Miss Barbara Smith is our wonderful helper. She keeps us all organized and did a wonderful job planning tonight. And did I miss anybody? Oh, how could I forget? Dr. Baker. The best for last.
Oh, that's a good way to get out.
Thank you. Since the creation of the Hall of Fame in 2003, 32 student athletes, 7 coaches or members of the athletic department, 3 benefactors, 1 college president, and 6 Chesapeake College teams have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, and they're all listed in your program. Would any of you who are current Hall of Fame members please stand up and be recognized? Thank you. Tonight we come together to celebrate the athletic, academic, and community contributions of 4 Chesapeake College alumni. In order to be considered for induction into the Athletic Hall of Fame, student athletes must have graduated from Chesapeake College or 4-year university or maintained a 2.0 average while as a student at Chesapeake. They must have exhibited good sportsmanship and citizenship while representing Chesapeake College, and they must have excelled at 1 or more sports while at Chesapeake College. And they continue to be an exemplary member of the community once they've graduated or left Chesapeake College. All 4 of tonight's inductees have demonstrated these requirements: Justin Armiger, Mohamad Dajani, Jordan Wright, and Brett Ireland. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Frank Szymanski, Chesapeake College Athletic Director and baseball coach, to the podium to make the first presentation to Justin Armiger.
Justin, we had to work around those requirements a little bit to get you here, but it all worked out. Dr. Viniar, without your support, none of this is possible. Thank you very much. Dr. Midcap, likewise. Everything you do is outstanding and first class. I promise I won't be long because the Armigers are Redskin fans, so there's a game tonight. And thank you for recognizing Clark Rollins earlier. I didn't recognize him, but I did recognize his suit because I haven't seen him in a couple years. It looks the same as it did 5 years ago. I got these glasses and everything, you know, so. First of all, it's a great night to be a skipjack, and when I talk about skipjacks, definitely Justin Armiger is, he's one of the top dogs. When I got a chance to see him play in the Bowie Baysock Stadium in 2004, he reminded me of a young Cal Ripken. Long, lanky, thin, could make all the plays, could run. But he took a few plays off every now and then, didn't get to the bag a couple times, so we knew we had a challenge in front of us. But after our first couple times in the fall, we took care of that, and Justin became an outstanding player who had talent, a relentless competitor, and just made himself into the player that he became. I got to fiddle around here a little bit. I know that's in public speaking, that's terrible, but I'm trying to get better. When Justin finally made the decision to be great, everything took off. His confidence, his courage, and his ability just became impeccable. Every pitch, and became consistent. And to be a Hall of Famer, you have to be consistent, and he was very consistent. He invited. I lost my spot. He invested his time to become a great player to help his teammates. Justin was the missing link. In 2004, and we'll talk about that later, with Brett, we had a very strong nucleus. And we were just missing a couple parts to becoming a great team. And Justin was definitely one of those parts. The season he had in 2005 was incredible, unbelievable. Like I said, very consistent, very marketable, could play all positions. I believe he played third, short, second, maybe a little first. Hit first in the lineup, hit second in the lineup, hit third in the lineup. He was a very difficult out. Another important quality, besides his outstanding academics, was that he was a very clutch player. Probably one of the best clutch players we ever had. And the reason that he proved that was by hitting over 400 in the College World Series. I believe he was one hit away from breaking the record, and in one of the longest games ever played in JUCO history. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Justin Armiger to the Hall of Fame.
I had a chance to set all those records because we played so long, went to the World Series, so that's a shout out to my teammates just to get things started. Good evening. I'd like to congratulate Jordan, Mohamad, and BI on their induction to the Hall of Fame. Next, I'd like to thank my family who was here. They're my #1 fans. They look forward to the games just as much as I did. It was rare for them to miss a game, even if they had to stream it online. From the day I was born, my grandfather knew I was going to be a baseball player. Standing up here today, he was right. I'm pretty sure all the parents that were on my team will miss our games pops, since they won't get any more bags of tomatoes. That's only my first joke. I'd like to thank my brother Dan, my sister Sarah, for never once complaining to go to a baseball game. But then again, it was like a party for Dan, and Sarah enjoyed it so much. She knows more about the Orioles than I do these days. To my parents, who gave me the opportunity to enjoy the game of baseball since I was 5, sent me to college, and supported me, especially after the big contract I signed with the Texarkana Gunslingers for $37.50 a week. I think they forgot about 5 zeros in that. Never once did they criticize my performance, and we all know baseball's a tough game when you fail 70% of the time. My mom would always say, "You had a good game," and sometimes I'd say, "Mom, I'd struck out 4 times." And she would say, "Well, you look good doing it." And that's what moms are for. I give a lot of thanks to my dad because as a son, you want to make him proud as possible. So any parent, teammate, whoever came up to him or my mom after the games and told him how good their son was, thank you. Never once did he force me to do anything, whether it was hitting off the tee, running, throwing. It's easy to play when you want to, and no matter what level I played at, I can honestly say it was incredibly fun. Coach Szymanski, I can't thank you enough. It was an instant connection when I came here. The love of the game, the passion, the dedication, the motivation, we lifted at 4:30 a.m. It was easy to play for someone who believed in the underdog, who never quit and stayed positive. My whole high school career, I hit 2 home runs. My freshman year, I hit 9. That's what jump-started my career. The reward of hitting home runs and the doubles with guys on base, winning and ultimately going to the World Series puts a smile on my face each and every day. I can't thank you enough. You brought a group of people together that I will never forget. On a final note, a number that doesn't have a category on a baseball stat sheet that can also represent the player I was is 0. Not one time did I argue with an umpire, throw my equipment, yell at a teammate, unless it was Clark, who threw an 0-2 pitch and gave up a base hit in the playoff game just this past season. Or question a coach. I never criticized the swing, pitch, catch unless a teammate asked me for advice. I was always the guy to say, "Shake it off, let's go play defense." Hopefully that's what parents, coaches, teammates, friends, and family remember me the most about. A leader who has always stayed positive and always had the dirtiest uniform. Thank you.
Congratulations, Justin. Mr. Mark Dennis, I'm going to call to the podium to make his presentation to Mohamad Dajani.
Good evening. For those that don't know me, I'm the soccer coach up here at Chesapeake College. I recently read a book where the main character strongly felt that he had a duty to his country, his religion, and to his family. For this person, the order of importance was complicated by the fact that he had a wife and young children. This character always put his country, his religion, and family ahead of himself. Unfortunately, in our society today, the priorities for most people start with self, and the other 3 fall sadly behind, and then only when convenient. The young man that I am introducing has always had his priorities in order. When he played high school soccer for me, he would have days when, due to his religion, he could not eat or drink, not even water. This certainly affected his body when he competed, but this young man understood his priorities. I saw the effects this self-deprivation had on him, but never once saw him waver and take that much-needed sip of water and violate his beliefs. When he transferred from Chesapeake to Salisbury University, I asked him if he'd like me to talk to the coach down there. He said, "No, Coach, their practice requirements are so stringent that they would interfere with my school and my work." Again, he had his priorities straight. The young man I'm about to introduce always worked hard both in practice and in games. I've told this story before about this young man. His senior year in our very first game, we're not 5 minutes into the game, and already he's been in all four corners of the field. The soccer field's pretty big. And when I say he was in the corner close enough to touch the corner flag. I pulled him out of the game. I substituted for him. And this was unheard of. He walked right over to me and says, "Coach, what's going on?" I said, "Well, for one thing, you've been all over the field in 5 minutes' time, and there's no humanly physical possible way that anybody can do that. You've got to pace yourself. You've got to slow down." But that's him. He was always willing to do whatever it took and gave everything he had. This young man has played soccer with my sons, been a guest in my home, played on various soccer teams for me, but just not here at Chesapeake. He led the 2009 Skipjacks to their best winning percentage in program history by being their leading scorer with 16 goals. He was selected to first team All-State and first team All-Region. He was a Region 20 nominee for All-American that year. Unfortunately for me, he had already transferred to Salisbury when I was hired to take over Chesapeake's soccer program. I remember getting the call from him to congratulate me on being hired as the new soccer coach, and we were both very disappointed that he had already made the transfer to Salisbury, and I can assure you, me extremely sorry. I was honored when he emailed me last month and asked me if I would be here for him tonight. My answer was immediate, absolutely. He's not only an excellent athlete and student, but a person of values and commitment. He is also very worthy of the honor being bestowed upon him tonight. I am very proud to introduce to you Mohamad Dajani.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. And I would like to, this is truly an honor to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I want to congratulate all the Hall of Fame inductees. Mark, thank you very much for presenting this award tonight. He was my high school coach for Cambridge South Dorchester. Him and his son, Brian, played a big factor throughout my high school career in terms of my soccer knowledge and ability. And to this day, anytime I'm in the newspaper or if he hears from me, he sends me a text message right away. Even when Richard Midcap posts something, whether it's tennis or soccer, right away I hear from Mark Dennis. So thank you very much. A little background about myself. I was born in Los Angeles, lived there for 8 years, then moved to Jordan, which is in the Middle East. Lived there for 4 years, learned the language, Arabic, and the religion of Islam. Then moved back here with my family for 2001, and I graduated from Cambridge South Dorchester. I attended Chesapeake College for 2 years. Now I'm currently finishing out my final year at Salisbury University. The 2009 soccer season was one of the highlights of my soccer career, and for this school's sport as well. One of the most challenging things for me was the schedule. It was very tough to commit, and I wasn't sure if I was going to join the team due to the scheduling. But all credit goes to Pat Hamilton, who got the team together. He's the one who started recruiting. He played for St. Michael's, I believe. And after he convinced me to play, I went for it. And I'll never forget the first day of practice, because we're looking at all my teammates with a discomfort look because we didn't like each other, since we all played against each other in high school. But with each day, with each practice, our friendship grew stronger, and we all had a common goal. We wanted to win. And we knew about the previous records. I believe it was 1-12, 0-13. We didn't like that, so we wanted to change, and we were able to reach our goal and set an example for the next year's team. One of the most memorable times of the season was when Dr. Baker came up to me and was congratulating us about how well we're doing. And he said, "I'm going to come out there and watch you play." So when he came out there, or before he came out, I said, "I'm going to score a goal for you." So the game started. I believe it was against Cecil Community College. So I scored my first goal, and I'm looking around, where's Dr. Baker? So then second half comes, and I see him walking around, and then I get really excited. I'm like, okay, I have to score another goal and show Dr. Baker. So the first chance I get, I believe I cut between two defenders and took a shot right away, and I scored. So the first thing I did was point at Dr. Baker, ran towards him, then he gave me a hug and congratulated me. Now, as soon as I turned around, I get my first yellow card. My first yellow card for excessive celebration. So thank you for being it was worth it. Thank you for being the reason I got my first yellow card. One of the toughest challenges of the season was the numbers. For a soccer team, you need at least 20 players, at least. That year, we only had 13 players, which is really, really tough to play an entire season. Another thing that challenged me as well, Mr. Dennis mentioned it, was I had to fast for 30 days, which is for the religion, where you cannot eat or drink from sunrise till sunset. So during that time, I believe sunset was around 8:30, and sunrise was like 4:30 in the morning. So all day, no water, no food, and we had a lot, soccer practices, the matches. It's really physical out there. So on the 30th day, I just told myself, get through the day, and, back to lots of fluids and eating. I strained my hamstring, which caused me to miss 4 games. But with each game, it made me feel, I felt for my teammates. I know they needed me, and I needed them. So after the 4th game, I wasn't 100%, and I told my teammates I'm still going to continue because this is not an individual sport. Pat Hamilton and the defenders, they did their job. They did an amazing job shutting out the other teams. I did my job passing, scoring, and we all connected really well. So we all needed each other. If we had over 20 players, it's not a big deal. But with 12 players, 13 players, everybody's important. My only regrets was that I didn't play another season. Played 1 season, and that Mr. Mark Dennis didn't coach me. We're just a year apart. So that's the only regret. This award, definitely, I dedicate it to the team. I thank God for the healthy life, blessed life. I'd like to thank my parents, even though they don't know anything about sports at all. My father's work ethic is what drives me, which I carry onto the field in anything I do. So it's all on him. My mother's the biggest supporter, even though she would rather me spend more time with her. But usually it ends with, if we get in an argument, just go chase the ball around. But she means that I want to spend more time with you. I'd like to thank my brothers and sisters, my grandparents, all my family, Richard Midcap, Dr. Baker, and everybody here tonight. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Mohamad. Our next presenter is Mr. Dury Hayes, Chesapeake College softball coach, and he'll be making the presentation to our lone female this year, Ms. Jordan Wright.
Jordan, you're the best looking thing in here getting inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight. Congratulations. Jordan Wright is not only one of the best athletes I've ever had the honor to coach, she's the best softball player I ever had at Chesapeake. I first met Jordan and her father at 14 and under travel team practice, and I'm going, she's all right. She wasn't special, she was pretty good. And I was an assistant, so obviously I wouldn't do good. Well, by 16 and under, I'm the head coach. Yeah, Jordan's got a little something going on. So we take Jordan. Jordan hates to pitch, just hates to pitch. Okay, Jordan, you're the number one pitcher, but I won't pitch you unless I have to. That's right. We always got to win, so I always have to. I found out that summer how good she is, how good she could be. You need 4 things to be a special player, and she had all 4 of them. First off, she understands the game. She understands how to take angles to get to a ball, how to read a pitcher, how to read a hitter. She simply has got it. And it is not something that you can teach. You either got it or you don't. Second, she was fortunate enough to have some God-given skills that lots of people don't have. She had above average speed, almost plus speed, on a good day. Plus speed, above average arm, played multiple positions. One of the toughest things was figuring out when she was up for All-American what position to put her at. She played defense at an above average level, and she worked hard enough to develop above average skills. Jordan was a right-handed hitter until she got to Chesapeake. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Third, she had a tremendous work ethic, and all the ball players, Justin, Mohamad, Brett, they all tell you that they always talk about the kids who were the first kid to practice and the last kid to leave. And, you know, it's sort of a cliche. It's true with Jordan. She was always the first kid when we warmed up and threw. She was the last kid off the field. That's a work ethic. We played 16 and under travel, and we practiced in the winter on Monday nights down at Chris Marble's. And when practice was over, she would get Melissa Hastings, a friend of hers, and she would have her hit ground balls to her. Well, everybody thinks, well, that's not special. The trick was she would field them left-handed so she could work on her dexterity. And I said, why are you doing that? She said, well, I might have to throw left-handed someday. I might get a ball and fall down and get hurt and have to come up and throw with my other arm. Have to be ready for that. Wow. I said, you really do want to play, don't you? And that gets me to the 4th thing. Her desire to be the best softball player she could be. You look at her grades, you look at the other sports she played, she always wants to be the best that she can be. She doesn't have to be at University of Arizona. She just has to be the best that she can be, and she just worked at it and worked at it. I mentioned that she hated pitching, but she pitched all the time because she was so good at it. She pitched at North Dorchester because she was their best pitcher. She pitched here because she was my best pitcher. And she pitched on the breeze because she was my best pitcher. Even in Florida, when I told her she didn't have to pitch anymore, and then I pitched her 2 more games, she still decided to come here and play for me. She just worked at it and worked at it and worked at it because she didn't know when the team would need her to pitch. So in 2009 was a very good year. 2009, we're playing in the region finals, or in regionals. And the first game, the 4th batter comes up and hits a line drive and hits my pitcher in the mouth and knocks out 4 teeth. So I'm standing there with my arm around Jill, saying something stupid, I'm sure, like, he'll be all right. And I go, how am I going to ask Jordan, who hates to pitch anyway, that now she's got to come in while Jill's standing here holding her teeth? How am I going to do that? So I look over at the dugout, and there's no Jordan. Where's Jordan? She's behind the dugout warming up. She comes in, we win that game. She beats Dundalk, she beats Cecil, and she beats Cecil. And we win, and we go to the World Series. I just don't know how good she'd have been if she didn't hate to pitch. Okay, went right through them, good. Jordan was my first recruit here. She's the one who made softball. I know in the 80s they had some really nice teams here. And right before I came, they had some nice teams. But there was a little lull in there, and she made us legit. She made us into contenders right away. Her hard work and leadership set the tone for the rest of the kids. There was no slacking when Jordan was around. And she literally led by example. First day of practice, she shows up, and I said, Jordan, I'm going to make you a slapper. You're not going to bat right-handed anymore. She goes, okay. And she hit .525, made second team All-American, was 5th in the country in hitting. So I would say she did pretty well at it. When we got in the Hall of Fame for going to the World Series, I mentioned it then, I'll mention it now. Coaching got nothing to do with it. You got to have talent to do that. And Jordan, you do have some serious talent. She was NFCA All-American in 2009. After 2 great years here, she went to Frostburg. She played up there, ended up pitching. There's a surprise. Currently, well, she graduated from Frostburg in 2012, right? And currently is the head softball coach at North Dorchester High School. My dream would be to have a team with 9 Jordans. I could make that lineup up. That would be my perfect team. Although I got some girls over there I'd like to keep. Jordy, I want to thank you for coming to Chesapeake. Like I say, you made us legit. You don't know how you made my day that day when you said you were coming. I thank you for all you did for our program, and I'm just really proud of who you are. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Wright.
For the record, I took 1 year of pitching off my junior year, but I missed it, so I pitched my senior year. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. I just want to thank you all for coming tonight, and that this is truly a great honor to be recognized, and this induction means a lot to me. I could not have been happier when I was here at Chesapeake, my 2 years. Chesapeake always has a welcoming environment. I absolutely loved its professors, the classrooms. Professors were always so supportive of student athletes and willing to work with our crazy schedules. I remember one time I had to take a final exam. We got a game rained out, playoff game. I had to go to her. I was so scared to talk to any teachers anyway, so I was scared to talk to her, told her I was going to miss the final exam. Was that okay? Yeah, sure, just take it on Friday next week. All right. So I think Chesapeake is truly a great place. I have so many memories here, both on and off the field, whether it's with my teammates, classmates, in the LRC, in the cafeteria, in the gym. I do have to thank my freshman year teammates for making it to the World Series. That is a huge and memorable accomplishment for me. And that I also want to thank my sophomore year teammates for following up with another successful season. Chesapeake is truly a great place, and I love it when I get a chance to come back and visit. I also want to give special thanks to my family, without whom I would have never gotten to this point. They have given me unconditional love and support, as well as money and time spent, to help me become the best player I could. I thank my parents, most of all, for all the years of pitching lessons they paid for. My dad always came. We drove to Salisbury 8 o'clock every morning, or every Saturday morning, and he caught for me. I especially have to thank them for pushing me to play travel ball. I remember trying out for Jay Chance's Breeze team at 12 years old, and I cried because I made the team because I didn't want to play. So they made me, and I'm very grateful for that because I got to play for both Jay Chance and Dury. And they spent a lot, probably 4 or 5 summers every weekend, traveling, staying in hotels, and supporting me. My parents believed in me even when I didn't, and I cannot thank them enough. I also want to give special thanks for my brother who is here tonight for being a full-time practice partner for me. I'm especially grateful for the opportunity I had to play for such an outstanding and well-known coach. Dury Hayes has made a huge impact in my softball career, and he's the reason I became such a successful ball player. He believed in me even though I came out of a small high school with a not successful softball program. He had great confidence in my abilities and, like he said, convinced me to slap hit, which I had never done before. He gave me full confidence to go out and play for a 4-year school. Coach Hayes shares the same love of the game as I do, and I hope I can become as great a coach as he has over the years. And as a coach now, I am pushing my girls to come to Chesapeake as much as I can. So I want to thank you all again. It is truly an honor. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jordan. Last but not least, we have Mr. Brett Ireland, and he's going to be introduced by none other than Coach Frank Smansky.
I hope I don't mess up this time, but I know I'll definitely be short because Coach Tony Ridgey has to get that suit back or they're going to charge him double. The definition of a Hall of Famer is someone who is great at everything they do. Brett Ireland was a great player, great student, great person, great teammate. He brought positive energy every day, made his teammates better. He helped Clark Rollins pass history, John Haas. He was motivated to be the best player he could, the best person. His work ethic was impeccable, and he had a game plan. He knew what he wanted to do. He set his goals. He set his marks. He wanted to be a coach. He wanted to be a teacher. He became an athletic director. He set his goals to be the best that he could. He was awesome to coach. And how about it, Mr. Judy? He's coming in the Hall of Fame. Bring him up here. Let's go.
All right, everybody hear me? All right. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and keep it short and sweet so you can get back and see the Redskin game, I guess. So, what's that? Hey, there you go. Like I said, it was an honor to get inducted. First of all, I'd like to thank the Athletic Hall of Fame for selecting me, and congratulations to everybody else who made the Hall of Fame tonight. So congratulations. And then, like I said, I'd just like to thank Chesapeake as a whole. They helped me to get to where I am today. I earned my college degree from Salisbury once I left here, and now it enabled me to get I teach down at Colonel Richardson, coach, and also the athletic director. So I appreciate all the opportunities they gave me. And besides getting that, Chesapeake was just a great place to get my education, and also I got to work up here. Coach was my boss for about, 9 summers or so. So I appreciate the opportunity to work up here and the opportunity that everybody gave me within the athletic department. Special thanks goes out to Coach and Coach Ridgie. You gave me a chance to play ball, which I appreciate to this day. Thank you for all of what you've done. I always remember Coach saying my first year in 2004, we had a good record, but we weren't quite there yet. And he said, all we got to do is get to the Final Four. If we get to the Final Four, anything can happen. And luckily enough, we were able to make it to the Final Four that year in the region, and ended up winning the region and winning the district and made it to the World Series. So, you know, he was right. You know, it happened, and luckily enough, we were able to play out there. So thank you for that opportunity, both of you. Other than that, thank you for the family being here tonight. So thank you all. If you appreciate all of you coming out. Ashley, your family as well. Good seeing all of you. Other than that, Mom and Dad, thank you the most. You know, you gave up everything for me. Most importantly, you gave up your time for me. Whether it was Mom, I know you missed all your summer vacations because you've never been on a vacation yet because we were playing ball somewhere. So I appreciate that. And Dad, thank you for all the batting practice you've thrown me. Yes, we had to get you a couple natural lights to get you loosened up. But once you got your natural lights in you, you know, you're able to throw some strikes. So I appreciate all that. And again, I'd like to thank the college for everything they've done to me. Thank you.
I'm going to ask Justin and Mohamad and Jordan and Brett to stand up for a second. We just want to congratulate you one more time, and congratulations for your entry to the Hall of Fame. We want to thank you all for attending tonight. This is a real special moment. In fact, I think Brett and Justin might have been here the year I was inducted because the baseball team was here and we were in this room. So thank you for being here to make my night special, 2 nights special. At this time, we're going to ask that the 4 of you stay to get pictures, and then as soon as the pictures have been taken, we're going to invite you to walk over to the gym, which will soon be the new HPAC building. So that the plaques can be unveiled on the official Hall of Fame wall. So thank you again for coming. Have a safe trip home, and we'll hopefully see some of you next year. Jordan and Brett.